If you could take a pill that meant you never had to eat again but also couldn't, would you take it? Why or why not? To be clear, you'd have perfect nutrition and would never feel hungry. Edit. It's also a one-time pill in this scenario. Throw in not having to pee or poop again and you got yourself a deal. So I still need to drink water? If water is allowed, can I have beer, alcohol? What about coffee, tea? What about drugs? Medical and recreationally that you have to swallow? If you suck a dick, can you not swallow? This all seems like an evil genie monkey paw situation where you will regret it. No, because food is amazing and delicious and magical even though my stomach hates it. Given the perfect nutrition, 100% yes, I would save so much money and time. Absolutely not. Eating good food is one of the few joys that all human beings have in common. I'd rather die than give that up. What type of person did you swear to never turn into growing up, but did anyway? I never thought I would grow up to be so lonely, but here I am. I swore I'd never stop being goofy, that I'd always try to find the positive and wouldn't give up hope. But then life happened. It's hard staying an emotionally sensitive and caring person when so many people are just plain mean. An angry person. Life and people are just too much all the time. An alcoholic. A corporate slave. I never thought I'd live paycheck to paycheck by my age. I thought I'd be on my way to being financially independent by now. In fact, it's always been my goal. I was willing to work so hard from such a young age and never scared to make sacrifices, but unfortunately my people reader is skewed and all I ever really got was taken advantage of. It's not too late. I'm smarter now and I'll get there. Serious, what turned out to be a lot more expensive than you anticipated. Attention. Serious. Tag notice. Asterisk. Jokes, puns, and off-topic comments are not permitted. https www.reddit.com/r/askreddit/wiki/index#wiki_rule_6- in asterisk any asterisk comment, parent or child, asterisk parent comments that aren't from the target group will be removed, along with their child replies. Asterisk report comments that violate these rules. Posts that have few relevant answers within the first hour. And posts that are not appropriate for the serious tag will be removed. Consider doing an AMA request instead. Thanks for your cooperation and enjoy the discussion. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit. Message compose to =r@AskReddit if you have any questions or concerns. Rugs. Biggest shock when I got my own place. Car repairs. Root canal with a crown. I understand now why a lot of people just get the tooth pulled. Being sick, chronic illnesses, becoming disabled. Everyone thinks that having a chronic illness or becoming disabled is a great excuse to sit home and watch TV all day. The constant doctor visits, surgeries, prescriptions, medical devices, and therapies add up to thousands a year. And the more you make, the more you spend. When I could still manage to work, I'd pay for or buy any type of treatment or device I could that promised some relief. $100 massages every week? Okay, fancy chiropractor at $40 a visit. Sure. $100 massager tool. Okay, I've spent tens of thousands just because I got in a car accident that left me with chronic back pain and a surgery that left me disabled. And these are just the monetary costs. There are plenty of costs that aren't money. Want to enjoy a day out? Well, now you need to be on bed rest for a week. It's constant and unrelenting. And unless a miracle happens, it will be the rest of my life. Landscaping. Even by yourself. What celebrity will you never understand the appeal of? Salt Bae. Chris Brown. MFER is a no domestic assaulter, yet for some god-awful reason he ain't in jail and he's still loved by many. James Charles. No explanation required. Edit. Google this entity at your own risk. The sub and Reddit are not liable for any trauma resulting from doing so. Any Kardashian or Jenner. They are only famous for being famous. Jake and Logan Paul, or any of the other YouTube celebrities and influencers. Doesn't take much nowadays to become famous. Jared Leto is a fucking lunatic. And an awful actor. So weird to me. What's an amazing documentary everyone should watch at least once? Shackleton. The greatest story of survival. An expedition to Antarctica. The crew thought they were going to the Arctic Circle 110 years ago. It lasted over 500 days. In some of the most extreme conditions possible. And every crew member survived. Truly amazing real-life story. And well retold. The Fog of War. Robert McNamara was the U.S. Secretary of Defense during the Kennedy administration and part of the Johnson administration. He was a straight-up genius, who helped lead the United States into arguably the biggest foreign policy disaster in her history. The filmmaker, Errol Morris, created a camera that allowed him to take the talking head documentary to the next level and interrogate the subject in an alarmingly direct fashion. He filmed interviews with McNamara decades after Vietnam was over. And among other things, the movie is an essay about how otherwise very smart people can make very bad decisions that lead to the deaths of millions of people. The act of killing. The director gets men who participated in the mass killings in Indonesia to reenact the violence. And it starts to deeply affect them. It's like nothing I've seen before, and I love documentaries. Highly recommended. The Bridge. It centers around the Golden Gate Bridge, and in particular its notoriety as a suicide spot. It's not for the faint of heart, because it features people jumping to their deaths. The filmmakers filmed the bridge round the clock for the best part of a year, and ended up filming almost all of the jumpers that year. It should be noted that they weren't idly filming, though. They had taken courses in suicide prevention and kept the police on speed dial, and did manage to prevent a few jumps in the process. They also filmed a couple of people being saved by passers-by. What makes it such a good documentary, though, is the fact that the footage they took of the bridge is intercut with interviews that they held with the family members and close friends of the jumpers that they filmed, giving insights into what was going on in the jumpers' life that led up to their suicide and how their suicide affected the people around them. It also features an interview with someone who survived his jump. What it all amounts to is a very candid and honest documentary about mental illness and suicide as a subject. It gets you to empathize with the people who do commit suicide, because very often they've been suffering for many years before, and help wasn't forthcoming. But it also presents a message of why, ultimately, you shouldn't, such as the fact that nearly everyone who survives their jump has said that they regretted it almost instantly, and the very real emotional impact that it had on the people who loved and cared for them. It certainly shaped my understanding of the subject, and I think may be the reason why even when I am mentally at my worst, I don't even regard suicide as an option. Crip Camp, about a summer camp for kids with disabilities and how some of them went on to be activists. So good. Baraka. https://m.youtube.com/watch v=6p83 ibl ru50. A wordless documentary about the evolution of humans and their societies. The whole Catsi trilogy is great, but Baraka is a must. Subscribe, my brothers.